This vintage photograph captures the idealized modern Christmas, the decorated tree, the pile of gifts, and the specific traditions tied to December 25th. For the billions of people around the world who celebrate, the foundation of this day is actually a lie. We assume these symbols have always been Christian, but many of the icons we bring into our homes have very different origins. Even the stories told to children about the holiday serve a hidden purpose, acting as a tool for behavioral control that can damage a child's ability to trust. Finding the truth requires looking at both the Roman rituals adopted by the early church and the modern myths used to manage a child's development. The first deception involves the calendar itself. While many believe December 25th marks the birthday of Jesus, the history of the date tells a different story. Even Pope Benedict acknowledged that December 25th was not the actual historical birthday of Christ. This stone relief shows the date's original purpose. It was a pagan feast day celebrating the birth of Sol Invictus, the unconquerable sun in Roman culture. The Church's timeline shows a deliberate merge. In 350 AD, Pope Julius I designated December 25th as Christ's birthday, to align with Roman festivals like Saturnalia. This alignment brought pagan symbols into the sanctuary. The Christmas tree is rooted in the Roman worship of Saturn. Gift-giving followed a similar path. Originally a pagan winter tradition, it was later justified by connecting it to the 3 wise men at the manger in Bethlehem. The symbols and timing of the holiday are not biblical artifacts. They are strategic adoptions of Roman paganism used to unify a changing empire. In the modern era, the deception has evolved. Santa Claus has become a cultural surrogate, often replacing Christ in the minds of children during their formative years. This substitution is mirrored in the name itself. Santa is an anagram for Satan, marking a symbolic shift from a religious focal point to a secular, fictional authority. Parents often view this as a harmless tradition, but maintaining a multi-year conspiracy can have long-term effects. It teaches children that their parents are willing to orchestrate a lie, which can weaken the child's faith in them later. Once the child discovers the truth, they realize the adults they trusted most were involved in a global deception. They learn that massive lies can be told without consequence, potentially damaging their baseline of trust in previous generations. Despite the claims of magic and joy, the myth functions primarily as a psychological tool for behavioral control. Children are conditioned to act good for a reward or out of fear of punishment. This bypasses the actual goal of parenting, teaching a child to value honor and justice for their own sake rather than for an end-of-the-year payout. The myth even replicates the concept of divine omniscience. Santa's ability to always watch acts as a secular replacement for God's all-knowing nature, training children to answer to a fictional watcher instead of a spiritual one. No moral benefit comes from this practice. It normalizes deception, subverts inherent morality, and erodes the trust a child places in their family, subtly shaping their worldview from the subconscious up. Looking at this image of children under a tree, we can now see it as a combination of Roman paganism and psychological conditioning. This raises the question of how to observe the day. According to Lord RayEl, pronounced Ray and Hell, the celebration of the day itself is not forbidden. If the day is used to say Merry Christmas and exclusively glorify and give thanks to Christ, the observance is permissible. However, the celebration must be stripped of its pagan elements. This means removing the trees, the winter gift exchanges, and the narratives surrounding Santa. You have a choice: continue in a global, multi-generational conspiracy, or observe the holiday with the truth in mind. The choice is yours.